Hello, Capricorn. I need to talk to you about something that has been coming through in the energy lately. I have been feeling this pull to do a reading specifically about soul connections and past life bonds. And honestly, when I shuffled the deck today, thinking about you and your love situation, the cards just fell out in a way that gave me actual chills. So let me share what came through because this is one of those readings where the universe really wants you to hear something specific. Before I get into the cards, I want you to think about that person who has been on your mind. You know who I am talking about. That connection that feels different from anything else you have experienced. That relationship where you meet someone and it is like your soul recognizes them before your mind catches up. Where the intensity is so strong that it almost does not make logical sense. Where you feel like you have known them forever even if you just met. Or maybe it is someone from your past who you cannot stop thinking about. Someone who left an imprint on your heart that time has not been able to erase. The question you have been asking yourself, whether you admit it out loud or not, is this connection so powerful because we have unfinished business from a past life? Did we know each other before? Is there something we were supposed to complete together that we never got to finish? And Capricorn, I need you to know that asking these questions does not make you weird or overly spiritual or naive. It makes you someone who is paying attention to the deeper currents running beneath the surface of your relationships. So I pulled 6 cards for you today, and I'm going to walk you through each one because the story they tell is honestly pretty profound. Let me just say up front that the cards are not here to give you a simple yes or no answer. They are here to show you what is really going on beneath the surface, what your soul is trying to work through, and what this connection is actually teaching you. All right. The first card that came out is the King of Pentacles. Now, when this card shows up in a reading about soul connections and past lives, it is telling me something really specific about the foundation of this relationship. The King of Pentacles represents mastery, stability, building something that lasts. But here is what is interesting. In a past life context, this card is suggesting that you and this person may have had a relationship in another lifetime, where you were building something together. Maybe you were partners in business, maybe you were working side by side to create stability and security. Maybe you were trying to establish something solid in the material world. But here's the thing. The King of Pentacles can also represent something that became too focused on the material, too rigid, too concerned with status and security at the expense of emotional connection. So what I am picking up is that if there was a past life connection here, it might have been one where you were so focused on building the external structures that you forgot to nurture the emotional bond. Maybe one of you was so consumed with providing and achieving that the relationship suffered. Maybe there was an imbalance where one person was giving everything, materially, but was emotionally unavailable. And this is what is so important for you to understand right now in your current situation. If this is a karmic bond, the lesson is not just about recognizing each other. The lesson is about not repeating the same patterns. The King of Pentacles is asking you to look at your current relationship dynamic and ask yourself honestly, are we building something real together, or are we caught up in the external trappings? Is there true partnership here, or is one person playing a role while neglecting the deeper emotional work? Because Capricorn, I know you are someone who values loyalty, commitment, and building something that lasts. But sometimes your sign can get so focused on the practical side of relationships that you forget to check in with your heart. The energy I am getting from this card is that yes, there is likely a past life recognition here. Your souls knew each other before. But the work you need to do now is to bring more emotional presence and vulnerability to the table. If in a past life the relationship failed because someone was too guarded, too focused on duty and responsibility at the expense of intimacy, then your job now is to break that pattern. The King of Pentacles wants to build a legacy, but what kind of legacy are you building? One that is just about security and status, or one that includes genuine emotional connection and mutual support at the deepest level. I want you to really sit with this because it is setting the tone for everything else that is coming through in this reading. This card is telling me that the foundation exists. The recognition is real, but you have a choice about how you move forward from here. The second card that came through is the Moon. And okay, this is where things get really interesting because the Moon is the card of past lives, hidden memories, and things that exist beneath the surface of conscious awareness. When the Moon shows up in a reading about karmic connections, it is basically confirming that yes, there are layers to this relationship that go beyond what you can see and understand with your logical mind. There are dreams, intuitions, feelings that do not have words. There are moments where you look at this person and something in you just knows, even though you cannot explain how or why. The Moon is ruling your unconscious mind, your dreams, your deepest instincts. And what it is telling me is that the connection between you and this person is operating on multiple levels. On the surface level, you have your day-to-day interactions and your conscious relationship. But underneath that, there is a whole other dimension where your souls are communicating, where past life memories are stored, where the unfinished business lives. Have you been having vivid dreams about this person? Have you experienced moments of déjà vu when you are with them, like you have lived this exact moment before? Do you ever feel like you can sense what they are thinking or feeling even when they are not around? These are all signs that the Moon is highlighting. This card is telling me that the veil between your conscious mind and your soul memory is very thin right now when it comes to this connection. But here is what you need to be careful about with the Moon. This card also represents illusion, confusion, and the danger of getting lost in fantasy. So while it is confirming that there are deep spiritual dimensions to this relationship, it is also warning you not to romanticize the past or project your idealized version of what you want this connection to be onto what it actually is in present reality. Because sometimes when we have these intense soul recognition experiences, we can get so caught up in the mystical, faded feeling of it all that we ignore red flags or overlook incompatibilities that exist in the here and now. The Moon is asking you to trust your intuition. Yes, to honor the fact that something deeper is going on. Yes. But also to stay grounded and clear-eyed about the actual dynamics of your current relationship. Just because you knew someone in a past life does not automatically mean you are meant to be together in this one. Sometimes we encounter soul connections specifically to heal old wounds, to learn lessons we did not learn before, or to release patterns that no longer serve us. Not every soul connection is meant to be a forever relationship in this lifetime. What I'm picking up is that this person is stirring up a lot of emotional and psychic material for you. They are activating memories and feelings that have been dormant. And that can be incredibly powerful, but it can also be disorienting. The Moon is encouraging you to do some inner work around this. Maybe journal about your dreams. Maybe meditate on what this connection is bringing up for you emotionally. Maybe explore past life regression if you feel called to that. But also make sure you are not using the idea of a past life connection as a way to avoid dealing with present-day issues or incompatibilities. The third card is the Sun. And honestly, after the intensity and confusion of the Moon, the Sun is coming in like a breath of fresh air. This card is all about clarity, joy, truth, and things coming into the light. And in the context of your question about past life connections, the Sun is telling me that whatever has been hidden is going to be revealed. Whatever confusion you have been experiencing is going to clear. The truth about this connection is going to become obvious to you. The Sun represents success, happiness, and things working out in a positive way. So the message here is actually really encouraging. This card is saying that if there is genuine love and compatibility between you and this person, if this is a connection that is meant to flourish in this lifetime, then the path forward is going to become clear. The confusion and uncertainty that the Moon was highlighting is temporary. You are moving toward a time of greater understanding and clarity about what this relationship really is and where it is meant to go. But the Sun is also a card of honesty and authenticity. It is asking both of you to come out of the shadows and be real with each other. No more playing games, no more hiding behind fear or ego, no more letting past patterns dictate how you show up in the present. The Sun wants everything out in the open. It wants honest conversations about feelings, intentions, and what you both actually want from this connection. What I am sensing is that there is a potential here for this relationship to evolve into something really beautiful and healthy. But only if both of you are willing to do the work of being vulnerable and transparent with each other. The Sun is the card of the inner child, that part of us that is innocent and open and capable of pure joy. And I think what is happening is that this connection is inviting both of you to heal your inner child wounds around love and intimacy. Maybe in a past life, one or both of you had to grow up too fast, had to be responsible and serious all the time. Maybe there was not space for playfulness and spontaneity, and just enjoying each other without all the heavy emotional baggage. The Sun is saying that in this lifetime, you have an opportunity to experience love in a lighter, more joyful way. Not light as in superficial, but light as in free from unnecessary suffering and drama. Light as in you get to enjoy each other, laugh together, have fun together. This card is encouraging you to bring more positivity and celebration into your connection. To focus on what is good and working rather than always dwelling on what is difficult or painful. To let yourself be happy without waiting for the other shoe to drop. I am getting the sense that maybe you have been so focused on whether this is a karmic connection, whether you are meant to be together, what the universe is trying to tell you, that you have forgotten to just be present and enjoy the moments you have with this person. The Sun is reminding you that life is happening now. Love is happening now. Do not get so caught up in past life theories and future possibilities that you miss the beauty of what is right in front of you. The fourth card is the Knight of Pentacles. And this is interesting because we already had the King of Pentacles show up at the beginning of the reading. So the Pentacles energy is really strong here, which tells me that this connection has something to do with learning how to build stability and commitment in relationships. The Knight of Pentacles is all about slow and steady progress. This knight does not rush. He does not make impulsive decisions. He takes his time, he does the work, he shows up consistently day after day. In the context of past life connections and karma. The Knight of Pentacles is suggesting that if there is unfinished business between you and this person, it has to do with learning patience and commitment. Maybe in a past life, one of you is not ready to settle down. Maybe someone left when things got difficult. Maybe there was a pattern of running away or giving up when the relationship required real work and dedication. Or maybe the opposite was true. Maybe one of you was too stuck, too resistant to change, too unwilling to take emotional risks. What the Knight of Pentacles is telling me is that the lesson you are working through in this lifetime is about finding the balance between stability and growth. About learning how to commit to someone while still allowing the relationship to evolve. About showing up consistently without becoming complacent. This is especially important for you as a Capricorn because your sign naturally understands commitment and responsibility. But sometimes you can get so focused on maintaining stability that you resist the changes and growth that relationships naturally require. The Knight of Pentacles is also a very practical card, which makes me think that part of your soul lesson with this person is about bringing spiritual connection down into tangible reality. It is one thing to feel that intense soul recognition and talk about past lives and karmic bonds. It is another thing entirely to build a functional, healthy relationship in the day-to-day world where you both have jobs and responsibilities and real-life challenges to navigate. The Knight of Pentacles is asking whether you and this person can take the spiritual intensity of your connection and translate it into something practical and Sustainable. I am picking up that there may be a tendency in this connection for things to be very intense emotionally and spiritually, but lacking in practical follow-through. Like you both feel this incredible bond and have these deep conversations about your connection. But then when it comes to actually making plans together, showing up for each other consistently, or dealing with mundane relationship issues, one or both of you drops the ball. The Knight of Pentacles is saying that if this relationship is going to work in this lifetime, you need to balance the spiritual with the practical. You need to honor the soul connection while also doing the boring, unglamorous work of being a reliable partner. The fifth card is the Four of Swords. And this card is really important because it is about rest, recovery, and taking time to process everything. After the intensity of the previous cards, the Four of Swords is basically saying that you need to pause and integrate. You need space to think clearly about this connection without the emotional overwhelm. You need time to heal whatever wounds are being activated by this relationship. In the context of past life connections, the Four of Swords can indicate that there was trauma or difficulty in a previous lifetime that needs to be healed before you can move forward in this one. Maybe the past life connection ended badly. Maybe there was betrayal, abandonment, or loss. Maybe one of you died and the other was left behind with unresolved grief. Whatever happened, there is healing that needs to take place. The Four of Swords is also suggesting that maybe you and this person need some space from each other right now. Not necessarily a permanent separation, but a conscious pause to allow both of you to do your individual inner work. Because sometimes when we are in the thick of an intense karmic relationship, we are so reactive and emotionally triggered that we cannot see clearly or make good decisions. The Four of Swords is saying that stepping back does not mean giving up. It means giving yourself the space you need to heal, reflect, and gain clarity about what you really want. I am sensing that you may have been feeling exhausted by this connection lately. Like the emotional intensity of it is draining your energy. The Four of Swords is telling you that it is okay to rest. It is okay to not have all the answers right now. It is okay to take a break from trying to figure out if this is a karmic connection or what you are supposed to do about it. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is to simply allow yourself to be still and let the answers come to you in their own time. This card is also about meditation, contemplation, and going inward. So if you have been seeking answers outside of yourself, asking friends for advice, getting multiple tarot readings, looking for signs from the universe, the Four of Swords is saying that the answers you need are inside you. You need to get quiet enough to hear your own inner wisdom. You need to create space for your intuition to speak to you without all the external noise and opinions. The sixth and final card is the Nine of Cups. And I have to tell you, this card is making me feel really hopeful for you. The Nine of Cups is known as the wish fulfillment card. It is about emotional satisfaction, getting what you truly want, and feeling genuinely happy and content. In a reading about love and soul connections, this card is suggesting that yes, there's potential for this relationship to bring you deep emotional fulfillment if you do the work that the previous cards have outlined. The Nine of Cups is telling me that this connection has the capacity to heal you in profound ways, to give you the love and emotional satisfaction that maybe you did not get in a past life, to complete something that was left unfinished. But the key word here is capacity. This is not a guarantee. This is a potential outcome that depends on the choices you both make, the healing work you are willing to do, and your willingness to break old patterns and create something new. What I love about the Nine of Cups in this position is that it is emphasizing emotional fulfillment rather than just the intensity of the connection. Because sometimes with karmic relationships, we can get addicted to the drama and the intensity without actually being happy. The Nine of Cups is asking you to focus on whether this relationship actually makes you happy. Not just in the moments of high intensity and passion, but in the day-to-day reality of your life. Does this person add to your emotional well-being or drain it? Do you feel more like yourself when you are with them, or do you feel like you are constantly performing or walking on eggshells? The Nine of Cups is a card of emotional maturity and knowing what you truly need to be happy. And I think what the cards are saying overall is that yes, this is likely a significant soul connection. Yes, there are probably past life ties here. But the more important question is, what are you going to do with that information? How are you going to use this connection as an opportunity for growth and healing, rather than just repeating old patterns? The Nine of Cups is encouraging you to claim your emotional happiness, to not settle for a relationship that is intense but unsatisfying, to not stay in a connection out of obligation or because you feel like it is fated. You deserve to be with someone who makes you genuinely happy, who treats you well, who shows up for you consistently. And if this person can be that for you, then wonderful. But if they cannot, then the Nine of Cups is giving you permission to walk away and seek the emotional fulfillment you deserve elsewhere.